Gen 4 cars at the Lady in Black, a challenge for only the most brave of drivers and maybe the crazy ones too. The green flag is out and we are racing at Darlington. Jacob Bradley gets the lead out of turn number 4. Cars already going 2 and maybe 3 wide. And the booth has a friend tonight. Ryan Pennell, back in what was your usual spot last year. Glad to have you here at your home track. You're just down the road here. Story says that you came out of the pond, and the rest is history, man. Welcome back home. Welcome to Darlington.
Yeah, good to be here. You know, I had to race. I raced the first race. I won it. So then I'm thinking, well, maybe I can battle for this championship. So I ran the second race, and I didn't do too well and fell to third in points. And I said, you know what? Let me hang it up. Let me get up here with you and do what I enjoy. I enjoy broadcasting way more than I do being out there on the track. So I'm excited to watch this race. This is a tough racetrack, so it's going to be a blast to watch.
From my end, we're having some frame rate issues. Fans at home or on your screen, if you also notice the same frame rate issues and this lagging along, let me know so I can fix that. Emily in the chat saying he's pulling for Matt. Tanner says Jacob Bradley wins on fuel/tire strategy. We'll see exactly just what happens. Drivers expected to go 60 to 70 laps on a tank of that Sunoco fuel. 110 laps will make up the 150-mile event at the Lady in Black. Ryan, you and I have been here. You and I have seen a race here. We know exactly just how difficult the track looks just by standing next to it. Then you get in the sim rig and it's a whole different animal.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's cool just to be able to see this track in person. I mean, it's awesome. It really is. And man, this track tears up tires like crazy.
That's one thing that we heard with drivers being able to go, 60 laps on a tank of fuel, that the tire strategy is going to be more important than the fuel strategy. And Briley Wright going around there, not great for his tire strategy. Looks like Jacob Renneker tried making the pass there and landed. Saying what's up in the chat, and Briley Wright, one of Landon's favorite drivers, going for a spill. Let's see if we can just have a fast look at what happened there, but Briley Wright lost control, Ryan.
Yeah, I just got loose. Looks like, I don't know. That was this track's really tough, and if you start to lose these cars from the 2 races I ran, it is very hard to save these cars.
Briley just got loose. Let's take another look, and Briley just lost control of the race car, and everybody slid past him. Let's see if we can get one more look here. Hopefully we're not missing anything terribly interesting out on the racetrack. I don't know if Briley was expecting the 97 to just cut in front of him in the corner, but I think Briley might have just hopped on the brakes, and luckily he's okay, back up to racing speed. He's fighting with Nassau's Elrich George. That's for the 17th position. At the front by 2 seconds already, Ryan Jacob Bradley zooms out into position. Matt Seeger in third behind last week's runner-up, Aaron Edwards. Aaron Edwards, Matt Seeger, and Ethan Winters in the 10 racing for Delta Sport, which is, we covered it last week. We'll go into it more in depth later, but it's almost like their own, genuinely, a racing team, Ryan. They get help from Delta Sport with paint schemes, with setups from Marconi as well, and it's their own little union, if you will.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's always impressive when drivers have, you know, real sponsors and real people that are supporting them, and you know, it makes it a little bit more realistic. I mean, this is obviously, you know, we do this for fun, but when you have a couple drivers that have real, sponsors and real teams, it makes it seem a little bit more real.
Nothing's going on with your stream. We're just fixing some of the intermittent frame rate issues, and we'll be doing that as the race goes on, because technology's a bear sometimes, but that's okay. We haven't missed a thing so far. You're still looking at Ethan Winters following Noah Belleville. Not a bad set of looking paint schemes either. The Cincinnati driver sits 0.3 of a second away from the Missouri pilot. Second place still being contested. Here comes one of those Bluegrass Bandits, Ryan, Toby Estes, in that number 8 Dale Jr. paint scheme. Is that a Dale Jr. paint scheme, that AMP paint scheme there? I don't recognize it with red numbers on the side.
Yeah, I was trying to look at it. I don't think it is, but yeah, I think it is actually. That's what he ran in the 88 machine in the Cup Series. He's just on this Gen 4 car, so pretty cool looking scheme there.
The creativity never ends, man. Nick Pressey even makes his own paint schemes as well. Brooklyn's very own. Getting creative with that number 94 Drip Diecast and Collectibles race car. We'll talk more about Drip Diecast later. They keep us going. If you just tuned in, you have not missed a thing. So far, so good. Now, Ryan, we brag about it all the time. TNT has an incredible knack for going caution-free, but even at Darlington, that's a stretch.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, this track is very, very difficult, especially with these cars. The Gen 4. Again, like I said, I drove it at Rockingham last week. It was a handful. I mean, it was all over the place. So I can only imagine, especially as we get later in the run. I mean, we've only run 13 laps right now. Give it another 10 laps. These tires are going to be screaming out there, and I think they're really going to be hanging on, trying to keep these things going straight.
Noah Belleville leading this short train right here from the 6th position. The Season 9 champion has been practicing diligently all week long, and I was actually talking to him during one of his practice sessions last night, Ryan. He was figuring out the tires. He was just figuring out basically how far you can go on fuel and how to split your stints. So it's a 110-lap race. Some drivers are going to try and go 55 laps. Some drivers are going to try to go all the way out to 60, maybe 70 laps. You're the driver. You have the expertise. You tell me, what's the move?
Yeah, I mean, if you know you can make it to that halfway point, to me, you got to come as soon as you hit the halfway point, if it does stay green, which obviously usually TNT does, but this is a tough track. Yeah, I mean, if you can hit halfway, there's no sense in staying out any further than that, because you can come down pit road, get 4 fresh tires, and you're going to be running way faster. I don't know the time difference, but it's usually, a second to 2 seconds difference. So once you hit halfway, I think everybody will come in if they can make it that far.
If you just tuned in, you have not missed a thing. Fixing some minor frame rate issues, so trying to get everything nice and steady, keep the race moving in one neat direction. Apologize for these technical difficulties. But whatever, Ryan, it's not a Rick James TV stream if something doesn't go wrong and we need to adjust something along the line, but whatever. We're putting it together, man.
Yeah, it's, you're always going to have some technical difficulties, and I actually had the same issue at Rockingham. My screen was freezing, so you just never know when the technical demons will hit, and it always seems to be at the worst times.
Should have done radio style there for a second. This is one of, actually, the most exciting battles again. Landon in the chat asking, when do Miatas start again? January. So we're going to bring that back. He's asking about Mazda Mondays. For those that don't know, basically, I make up a schedule of 6 tracks to go to with the Mazda MX-5s on tracks you would never see them at, in impossible conditions, because why not? And we just talk some smack while friends race around each other. Ryan, you were in that last season, and it is ridiculous and fun and just a good time.
Yeah, it's a blast. I mean, for anyone that is interested in running, it's just so much fun. you know, a lot of our series are very serious, you know, and it can be taxing on the admins and the drivers, and you know, TNT is no different, very serious series, but the Mazda series, it's just fun. You know, we're out there just enjoying it, having a good time, and sometimes we all just need a little bit of that. So it's a blast, and make sure y'all tune in too, because it's so much fun seeing everybody out there battling and just having a good time. Sometimes in the rain, sometimes not in the rain.
I think we ran 2 races in the rain last season. One of them I didn't even intend to run in the rain, but I think the rain had just dropped that the update, if you will, had come out just that January or right before Christmas or something, and we were just messing around, and it was absolutely ridiculous. I know we're still having some frame rate issues. Go figure. I tried making some last minute changes, and I think it kind of screwed things up. So I apologize. Don't adjust anything with your end. If you guys are lagging, it's not you. It's me. 23 laps into this race, Brian. We haven't seen a ton of action. Haven't seen a ton of contact, if you will. But again, the message in that drivers meeting was take care of each other. You're not going to win this race in the first 10 laps, and the drivers are adhering to this, really giving each other a lot of space.
Yeah, I mean, through the years, TNT really has become kind of a culture. You know, I mean, it's everyone expects that this is what happens with TNT. I mean, even at Rockingham, we did really well. I think we only had maybe 1 or 2 cautions, if I remember. But yeah, this is just what we're used to, and that's what makes the racing so much fun to watch, because all these different strategies start to play out. So this is gonna be a fun race.
Grandma Jeannie's in the house, and her number 1 grandson, Noah Belleville, is in the 7th position, chasing down Bren Roberts. Ethan Winters in the number 10 sits ahead of Josh Gaiman. Put a quarter down, 25 laps underway at Darlington. For as much as we talked about the simulator and just how realistic it can be, this is a very scenic racetrack, and it really is this pretty. Ryan and I have been here and seen races together. We'll be the first to tell you it's a really, really pretty place to be. Ryan, in the middle of nowhere. It was 2 hours away from where we were staying.
Yeah, I mean, we were lucky enough to stay right there on the beach, kind of pretty much in Myrtle Beach, not quite in Myrtle Beach.
Which, shout out, it was my first experience, and it's a fun town. It's a really cool place.
Oh yeah, it is. It's a great town, and I kind of had the idea to go to Darlington that year, and I was like, man, we got to stay at the beach. So we had a really awesome house, literally walking distance to the beach, and then we were able to go and watch some racing here as well. And yeah, it's a great track, and you're right, it is literally in the middle of nowhere. And you know, that pond over there outside of turn 3 and 4 that kind of defines this racetrack, you know, we got to see all that. So yeah, it's a beautiful racetrack, and just a great area out in the middle of nowhere.
Not that it's the track's fault that it's out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it genuinely just adds to the charm, though, that it is quite removed from any major cities. You know what I mean? At least with Michigan, you're what, an hour and a quarter, an hour 30 minutes away from Detroit. With Atlanta, you're what, 30, 45 minutes outside of the city of Atlanta as well. So there's a few tracks on the circuit within some metropolitan areas. Not Darlington. It is truly unique. Obviously not just in shape, but just in legend, in location, in atmosphere. If you have a chance to visit Darlington, don't pass it up. Ryan, Bren Roberts is our points leader coming into this race, and the 84 Best Buy machine is up 1 place from where he started. The top 3 are kind of in a class of their own, but Bren Roberts is now fighting with Toby Estes to be the best of the rest.
Yeah, and Bren's always been really good, you know, having a long run car, and it almost seems like Toby's kind of holding this whole lineup. I know Toby likes to run, you know, really fast, on the short run, but then kind of falls off a little bit on the long run. We've seen him in past seasons, kind of change the strategy. You would see him come down pit road well before a lot of the other drivers, and I think that Toby's just, you know, again, the long run speed just not quite there.
Roberts now going to do it the hard way, going around the outside with Toby Estes now giving up the spot, and that opens up the floodgates. Nick Pressey now moving to the left-hand side. Noah Belleville may also choose to do the same, almost 3 wide in turns 1 and 2. And now it's just a bottleneck out of that second corner.
Yeah, and I think, like I said before, I think Toby's just struggling right now a little bit with the long run speed. He was able to kind of hold off Nick, but I mean, look at this. There's like 8 cars all just right on top of each other. This is some great racing here at Darlington.
Elridge George in the number 40 machine. Ooh, just gets into the wall right there. Kevin Feemster, Tommy Withers no longer running in this one. So we're down to, well, it says Tommy Withers is in the pits, but I can't get any sort of look on him. Let's see.
Yeah, I heard Feemster call out that he was coming down pit road, so I don't know. Yeah, Withers looks like he's about 10 laps down, maybe 11 laps down.
Right,
so,
and this is during the green flag, and this is coming to green in that number 6 there, and it looks like he made it to about lap 20 or something, but I'm just not sure. Well, okay. Now check this out. He had an incident here on lap 22. I'm not sure if he just parks it. He just gets into the wall, and I think that's it for him. He literally just comes to a halt there, and he parks it. So the Fredericksburg, Virginia pilot.
Yeah, I'm watching your stream. He's in an all pink car. That's
something new for sure.
Yeah, there you go. It's all he's always keeping us on our heels.
He's keeping us on our toes. Exactly right. Further on back, Ethan Winters now moving to the port side of Noah Belleville, the Season 9 champion, giving up the spot to one of the Delta Sport drivers. Ethan Winters in that 10. Josh Gaiman now in 7th, moving up to Noah Belleville. Toby Estes and cousin Cody Ryan now battling for 8th.
Yeah, Cody's got some pretty good long run speed here in that 21, and Rick, I don't know if you could look to see if something maybe happened to Feemster, because it's showing he's still sitting on pit road. I heard him call it out, but I don't know if maybe he got into the wall and got some damage or something, but definitely still sitting on pit road with that number 17 machine, at least from what I saw.
The Van Buren, Indiana pilot comes down into the pits in an awesome looking Masterforce car, by the way. I love the chrome numbers. That's just a cool paint scheme. But he's coming down at speed, and I think he just comes into the pits, but I'm not really seeing... He re-enters the pits on lap 31, Ryan, so I'm not sure if he picked up any sort of penalty or what have you, but yeah, he's still being shown in the pits, not out of the race, so maybe he'll rejoin, not sure. The race does continue. 37 laps into this one, Ryan. We are more than halfway into this fuel run. So, quick recap here. Jacob Bradley is 2 3/4 seconds ahead of Aaron Edwards. I'm interested to see where the delta is here, because take a look. In the last 2 laps, well, 4 out of the last 5 laps, let's take a look at that. Aaron Edwards has been quicker than Jacob Bradley, and this is after 33 laps of racing. I think the magic has definitely worn off the tires.
Yeah, it could be that, or the fuel might be a little bit different than what they were saying, and maybe they can't go that magic number. Again, 50 laps is not enough. You got to pretty much get to 55. 55 would split it halfway if I can do math, which we've already discussed that me and Rick cannot do math. No. But if you get to 55, that should be halfway. That should be good to the end. I'm wondering if they can actually make it that far on fuel. Now, I know we said, the fuel counter said yes, we can, but Nick Pressey's coming down pit road, so I don't know. I don't think they can make it that far.
If this is a two-stop race, then definitely some drivers are going to try to make it on one. And when I say some drivers, I mean Jacob Bradley. Let's not kid ourselves here. The number 50 is an expert at saving fuel, but we'll see how far they make it. The Drip Diecast and Collectibles track facts tell you drivers will make it, well, an estimated 60 to 70 laps. We'll see how far they go. If you just tuned in, again, no cautions yet. Shout out Grandma Jeannie, Landon, Emily. She's a big fan of Matt Seeger. Trauma, Landon, Tanner Lockhart, and anybody else.
Yeah, I'm just curious because I mean I've seen a lot of people come down pit road, and again, unless they're just really hoping that the time they're making up on tires, you would have to make up a lot of time to not go the two-stop method like we were talking about. So I don't know. It's interesting. I love strategy races, and here we are. We got a strategy race again.
Ethan Winters now working on points leader Brent Roberts. Ethan Winters comes with one of those interesting, what is it, unified professional paint schemes? I think that's what it says on it. See if we can get a close-up shot there. Ryan, what the hell does it say on that race car? Unified Potential, that's it. I always get this wrong. I apologize. It says Unified Potential on that race car. We're talking about Ethan Winters right now in fourth. Matt Seeger, who we haven't mentioned much of, he sits in second. And then Aaron Edwards, last week's runner-up, I believe. He gave an excellent fight to Jacob Bradley. They're all part of Delta Sport, which is a racing program that has been in the road racing side of iRacing for a very, very long time. They're similar to Team Redline or Williams Esports, but to a somewhat smaller scale. They competed in the televised top split of the Sebring 24 and the Daytona 24 hours as well. Connor Zilich is actually one of the notable members of the team. So now Delta Sport's getting into oval racing to expand their horizons, and now they're trying to lead a program that can bring drivers into higher racing series. So what they get, Ryan, from Delta Sport is free setups with a business account through Maconi Shop, free professional level paint schemes, as well as any cars and tracks that they might need. So Delta Sport being around for 3 to 4 years now, they picked an excellent group of drivers to get behind, and it's already paying dividends, seeing how Seeger, Edwards, and Winters are consistently in that top 5.
Yeah, I mean, they've been fast even last year. I mean, they were really fast, and, I can't remember if it was Edwards or maybe it was Winters that joined late, was kind of behind the 8 ball on points, but, this year they're starting fresh, and they've been here every single week. But I will say, I think that they're saving a little bit. Maybe not Seeger, but Edwards, he was second, like 2 seconds back from Jacob Bradley. He's now 6+ seconds back from race leader Jacob Bradley. I think he's in full save mode, trying to get to that lap 55 magic number. So that's something maybe we need to watch. But again, Jacob Bradley's just so good at saving the field. I don't see anybody getting him here unless he gets himself.
5.4 seconds, the gap from first to second, and then it's 1 second from second to third. Matt Seeger over Aaron Edwards. 48 laps underway at the Darlington Raceway. Have a look at rookie Jacob Renneker. He's behind TNT sophomore Chuck Sweeting. This is for 8th place. Renneker is up 3 places from where he started. So is Chuck. Further on down the field, Nick Pressey, Noah Belleville running 14th, 15th, and 14th, respectively. Ryan, we were talking about saving earlier. Now I'm just trying to think, how much is Noah Belleville saving? Is he saving the tires to go really hard at the end of the stint? Because with drivers having this long fuel window, the tires could mean more in these last 10 laps of your stint.
Yeah, and I mean, there's like, I'm looking right now, there's about 5 or 6 drivers that pitted around lap 35. Noah Belleville last pitted on lap 36. So I think, again, they're all on a different strategy. So they're pushing as hard as they possibly can because they have to make up that time because they know they have to make another stop. They're hoping that everyone else can't make it, but it's definitely not looking good because as they get closer to that lap 55 mark, they're good to go to the end.
Quickly approaching halfway, cousin Cody scraping against the wall. He runs in the 7th position. He's gained 8 places since the green flag flew. Jacob Renneker, Chuck Sweeting, still nose to tail. And Briley Wright rounding out the top 10, some 2 seconds off the pace. Let's go on board with the 3. Ryan, one consistency we're hearing is that drivers are letting off way earlier into the corners. Definitely, how many laps? We're, 53 laps into this race. It's a much, much different game compared to where they were at the beginning.
Absolutely. I mean, the tires are definitely hurting here. 54 laps in. But again, as we keep getting closer to that magic number, you know that everybody that's still out that hasn't pitted yet, they can pretty much make it to the end. Now, again, their tires are going to be really, I mean, right now they're super slow. Aaron Edwards looks like he's coming down pit road. So that's, oh man, that's close, Rick. I don't think he would be able to make it unless
so
he did
close. He's trying to cut it in half exactly. And I'll tell you what, he's gambling on not having to come back into the pits. This is a if it were me, Ryan, I would want that lap of security. Toby Estes is also into the pits in the number 8. The Greensburg pilot decides to come in just after lap 55. Estes and Belleville were practicing together this week. Belleville stays out further up. Ethan Winters holding on to 3rd place by 1/10 of a second. Cody Pennell, Chuck Sweeting battling for 6th. Couple more drivers on the way in. Ryan Briley Wright, Dale Markowski's also in.
Yeah, and that's right at the limit right there. I mean, again, doing quick Georgia math, 55 and 55 makes 110. They are pitting on 55, so it's going to be really close. And again, something we don't know is how much were they saving this run? Were they clutching it, and do they have to continue to save this second run? This is interesting, and Noah Belleville is first in the the group that pitted on lap 36. Jacob Bradley's in too, Rick.
The leader is in, and Ryan, I was asking earlier in the drivers meeting about my man Larry Everhard. He's in the house as well. Larry's asking, how much have the lap times increased per lap? Well, what I can tell you, Larry, is that drivers were putting in some of their fastest laps in practice at about 29.3, 29.2. Right now we're looking at 29.40. We haven't really had any big purple laps flash on the screen. We did just have a moment of 3 wide going there. But Ryan, Larry's going to get that question answered in a different way very soon, because the track is now the coolest it has been. It has the most grip it has had, and the drivers now have the freshest tires they've had for 59 laps, and the top 7 have yet to pit.
Yeah, and just for reference, like you look at Nicholas Cressy's last lap time, it was a 30.59, whereas the drivers that are still on track were running about a 31.3. So there's a huge difference, no doubt about it. As Seeger, Bryn, I mean, pretty much everybody up front trying to come down pit road now, and Gaiman looks like he has the lead at the moment, but obviously he'll have to pit soon. But the further you can go here, Rick, the harder you can push on this second run. So, this is cool because there's so many different strategies.
Trenton, New Jersey's Colin McDonough is going for the long haul. 60 laps underway. Josh Gaiman and Ethan Winters now coming down into the pits. Let's go on board with Winters. And Ryan, this is a slow, agonizing run. Dale Markowski's got a black flag. Ryan, he's in. This is a penalty for Dale Markowski. He's been caught speeding. And there goes the competition.
Yeah, it's a helpless feeling. I mean, you try and hit your marks, and it may only be a couple miles an hour over, but iRacing is pretty strict about that speeding penalty, and it unfortunately got Dale Markowski tonight.
Josh Gaiman now on the way out. Colin McDonough's in. Here comes the race leader. Gosh, he almost hit those barriers too. Noah Belleville, who pitted on lap 36. No, not 36. Has he pitted yet?
Yeah, he pitted on lap 36.
Was it 36?
Yeah.
That's how strange it is to me. That's how weird and foreign that concept is, that somebody would pit on lap 36. But I tell you, he's got the race lead. Now, by the way, Emily's chiming in, and I completely forgot, Ryan. I get sidetracked here, as you know. But the NFL is back on. Cowboys and Eagles are tied at 14 with 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. Landon in the chat enjoying the race as well. Anyway, it threw me off guard so much that Noah Belleville would have pit on lap 36, but yet here we are. My guess is this, is he's trying to just get the advantage of being off cycle when possibly the caution would come out, because seeing how far ahead the competition might be, this could be Noah just calling an audible, if you will.
Yeah, he's just, on a different strategy, and obviously you see how well it worked for him, because he came down and got tires and was so much faster that he's now the race leader. Now, obviously, Jacob Bradley and Aaron Edwards are catching him very, very quickly because they have almost 30 lap fresher tires, but it's one of those, Ethan Winters, he about lost it there, didn't he, Rick?
I was watching the times on Ethan Winters because it answers Larry's question that the lap times are getting faster because Ethan is going incredibly fast. He just put in a personal best, but like you said, he almost just lost the race car. Sixth is up for grabs. Ryan, Bren Roberts, and Josh Gaiman.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because everyone has different tires right now. So, Bryn came down on lap 59, Josh Gaiman on lap 60. I'm telling you, just one lap difference in tires is massive. It's a huge difference, but I'm kind of interested to see how this strategy works out for Noah Belleville. Obviously, Jacob Bradley kind of catching him now, but look at Aaron Edwards. He was 6 seconds back from Jacob Bradley before these pit stops started, and now he's right there behind Jacob Bradley. So I don't know if maybe Bradley had an issue on pit road or Aaron Edwards just had a really good stop, but he's right there.
In the last 5 laps, Aaron Edwards has been slightly losing time to Jacob Bradley, but now he's right there, 0.5 of a second behind. Jacob Bradley now getting around Noah Belleville for the race lead, and Noah Belleville not going down so easily. Bradley to the inside. He's got to make it stick.
Yeah, Noah's being defensive right here. He does not want to give up these spots, and that opens the door for Aaron Edwards. He's right there to battle for this lead.
Edwards is there. What's he going to do? Edwards pitted on lap 54. Jacob Bradley pitted on lap 57. Trauma's in the chat saying, looks like Seeger will do the same with Pressey and Lockhart. All right, Gaiman. 2/10 behind Brent Roberts, still working on that. Noah Belleville in third, but remember, Belleville pitted on lap 36. We know that on fuel he can go to 96, Ryan, but there's no point in going that hard on the tires. My theory is this. Belleville is going to run probably till about 30 laps to go in this race. At that point, he's going to come down for fresh tires, and he's going to drive as hard as he can to try and make up time on all the drivers that have worn tires that wouldn't dare pit again. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it works out for him.
Yeah, I wish him the best, but I think, again, it's a good idea to just, be off sequence from everyone else. But when he pits, he's gonna more than likely lose a lap. He's gonna be probably 14th, 15th in the running order. Yes, he'll be way faster, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be enough to get him there. He might get a top 10, but I just don't think he'll be able to get the finish that he wanted tonight.
If you just tuned in, we've gone caution-free in this race, just inside the final 40 laps of racing. Ethan Winters appears right behind Josh Gaiman, and he wants to play for the 6th position. Jacob Bradley slowly extending that lead over Aaron Edwards. 0.6 of a second is the gap. Let's go on board with the 15. Ryan, you can hear the tires just holding on for dear life in the 15. And Jacob Bradley just continues to scoot away a couple of tenths a lap. 9/10 is now that gap. And we've got, what, 40? No. What's 110 minus 75? I can't do math. 35?
Yeah.
35
sure.
laps, I think. 35 laps to go. Not this time by, but next time by. Thank God that we don't have to do math that often. In more pressing matters, 4th place is now really hot here. Brent Roberts got around Josh Gaiman. Ethan Winters and Nick Pressey are now turning the screw.
Absolutely, and Noah Belleville did come down pit road, and I was pretty close in my prediction. He's 15th right now in the running order, so we'll see how much he can make up. Obviously, he's got fresher tires, probably a second or so faster. I'd have to check the lap times once he gets his hot lap in after exiting pit road, but I think he'll make up a lot of positions. I don't think there's enough in the tank and enough left in this race to get all the way back to the race win.
Noah Belleville right now sits 48 seconds behind the race lead. Nick Pressey also coming down into the pits, and the Brooklyn pilot coming down on lap 76. And maybe he's trying the same strategy. I'm not sure. Jacob Bradley trying to run away from everybody. Josh Gaiman, Brent Roberts, Ethan Winters all hooked together. Cody Pennell now has Noah Belleville to his left-hand side. And at the very least, Ryan, Noah's absolutely going to be the lucky dog. So if a caution comes out, Noah Belleville's going to be in prime position.
Yeah, and that's what you really have to set yourself up for. You never know when a caution might come out. I mean, it's pretty rare here in TNT, but, never say never. Something could happen, and right now he's got to focus on getting around Colin McDonough, which is the first car a lap down right now. So Noah's really pushing to try and get around that 39 car so that if a caution does come out, he's able to get back on the lead lap and, you know, kind of get himself back into this race.
Noah Belleville just put in his personal best, 29.3 seconds. He's in the lucky number 13 position right now, and he is really chasing down Colin McDonough. Last time around, race leader Jacob Bradley did a 30.1. Noah Belleville a 29.3, so he's moving to the tune of about 8 tenths, maybe 7 tenths quicker. Certainly not enough to get anywhere near to him, but still, he's moving at a really good clip. Now I want to see how he's going to get around this threesome right here.
Yeah, he's got to be patient. That's the main thing. But he's also got to push pretty hard, because if he has any shot of getting a decent finish, he's got to pass everyone here, and he's doing a pretty good job right now. But just be careful. Don't wreck yourself trying to get a good finish.
The pride of DeSoto, Missouri, making it look pretty easy slicing around these race cars. Just down the left-hand side of Bren Roberts, and not for position, but setting himself up to be in good position. Nick Pressey just went green, by the way, Ryan, 29.28. The Brooklyn pilot trying to get to the inside of Aaron Edwards. They almost make contact. Aaron Edwards trying to stay off the wall, and that's been his struggle all night long, Ryan. He's incredibly fast, but he's just trying so hard to just keep off the wall, and it shows when lap traffic's trying to get around him. But that's also common, though, Ryan. I mean, this is Darlington. If you're not struggling to stay off the wall, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, I mean, all these cars should have a Darlington stripe by the end of the night. And if you don't, you probably were not racing hard enough to try and keep your position on track. It's part of it. I mean, it happens in real life, and it happens here tonight. Everybody's been in the wall just a little bit here tonight.
On board with Hagerstown's Bren Roberts. He's trying to hold off Josh Gaiman, who is really looking for any avenue here. On board with the West Virginia pilot. Out of 2, Ryan, Josh Gaiman going 3 wide out of that second corner. Man, that was close.
Yeah, that was almost our first caution. That was scary, and Ethan Winters got kind of the better end of that deal.
Chuck Sweeting and Briley Wright battling for 8th. Briley, one of those Bluegrass Bandits, teammates, if you will, with Toby Estes in the number 8, and then Cody Riggs when he does make that rare TNT appearance. Almost a little bit of how you doing there between Chuck Sweeting. Briley trying to stay off the wall, and my man Chuck will move into the 8th position, up 3 places from where he started, the Hawthorne native. Now running down your cousin Cody.
Yeah, Cody's been doing pretty good. He's got a great paint scheme on that number 21 tonight, and you know, it's good to see him out here tonight. I know he doesn't race as much as he used to, but he's got a great run tonight. I mean, running 7th right now, and I think he's got a shot to get to Bren and Josh Gaiman up there. He's got a really good long run car, so we'll see if he can catch those two. But just a great run for Cody tonight.
I tell you what, over the last 5 laps, he's cut in at least 1.5 seconds to Bren Roberts. That last time around, he was a couple hundredths quicker. Definitely Bren now losing the position to Josh Gaiman. That has slowed Bren up just enough for Cody maybe to just have a little bit of draft, have a little bit of advantage. 23 laps to go this time by. Still plenty to play for. Colin McDonough now gives up the 12th position finally to Noah Belleville. So Belleville is the first car 1 lap down. If the caution comes out, Belleville gets the advantage. Josh Gaiman has spun. Gaiman spins down the front straight in the 61 DeWalt machine. He's going to jump right to the pits there, and we got to find out.
Toby's around too.
Toby Estes goes around also. Let's find out with car number 8. Into the pits. What happened to Toby? Oh, now we got to find out big time here. Let's see. This is on lap 87. Josh Gaiman at a turn number 4 gets loose all by himself. Quick look at Toby Estes. Oh, this started a long time ago. He's coming in at the speed of light, Ryan. I think this is contact with race leader. This is right in front of Jacob Bradley.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And Toby's just trying to save the race car at this point.
Yeah, good job by Toby. I mean, he could have turned down right there and took out the leader and just kind of sacrificed himself and unfortunately smacked the pit wall there. And man, that's unfortunate.
I think definitely a frustrating situation there as well. This is Josh Gaiman one more time. You see he just gets loose out of the 4th corner. He's going to go for a spill, and then I want to see just from the sky. Again, this is Toby when the incident's already happened. And this is coming out of turn 2. Keep your eye on the 8 and the 50. To give the benefit of the doubt, Ryan, it looks like Toby just gets loose out of turn number 2. He tries to stay out of the way of the leader. Bradley obviously has a job to do and going as fast as he can and just has a hard time getting around Toby Estes. Toby right now motionless. I think he's called it a night from the 15th position. Jacob Bradley has a 6-second gap to Matt Seeger. It's another 9 seconds to Ethan Winters. Bren Roberts now trying to reel in the 3rd place position.
Yeah, and Bren's always really good on the long run too. I mean, looks like Cody maybe fell off a little bit trying to catch Bren, but you know, still a 5th place for Cody, not bad. And you know, Bren, I think Bren will be able to get to Ethan. It's just going to be really hard to pass him.
But that's the old adage, isn't it? It's one thing to catch him, it's another thing to pass him. Cody Pennell, 1.6 seconds behind Bren Roberts. John Honeybrink also behind him, but John's running in the 12th position. And the number 20. Tanner asking, wonder if Edwards had damage and had to pit. Maybe he thought a caution was going to come out and he ducked down pit road for fresh tires.
Yeah, he's in 13th right now, still on pit road, so something must have happened to him.
Something absolutely happened to Aaron Edwards. See if we can find out when he entered the pits. He is just motionless. Race control looks like he's got what we call a meatball flag, Ryan, so he definitely picked up enough damage that forced him into the pits. Now I got to find out when this happens. Aaron Edwards hasn't made motion there since lap 87. Oh, he's got huge damage here. Did it possibly have something to do?
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, his right front is destroyed.
Oh, he's already toast. This is where it begins. Let's go back one more spot here. This is the Henrico, Virginia pilot. Had an amazing run last week at Darlington. He gets into the wall once, and there's the big one right there. Huge hit for Aaron Edwards. Run that back one more time. Let's have another look. And that's certainly enough damage to force a guy to come down into the pits.
Yeah, you can kind of ride the wall here at Darlington, but when it snaps like that, that breaks that toe link. I know these don't really have toe links, but that breaks that right front tire and suspension, and that's very unfortunate. He was having a great run.
Matt Seeger now has to be careful. The Fort Valley, Georgia pilot puts a little scrape up against the wall. And he's now just having to, trying to be a bit more careful. Lucky number 13 laps to go next time by. Josh Gaiman in the chat saying it's almost impossible to get a run at this point. It bites you. There is no wall riding going on. Not this year, at least. I know last year we had some questions, but we had those resolved. But it is just a finesse. I mean, you can't expect the wall to solve your problems because it is going to come out and get you here. Ryan, I will say this for our race leader, Jacob Bradley, he's nowhere near that wall.
No, he is not. And I think, if I remember correctly, last year when we ran Darlington, I think Jacob Bradley won by like 15 or 16 seconds. So I'm not surprised at what's happening, but I know that Aaron Edwards definitely gave him a run for his money here. He was right there with him there for a little bit, and just unfortunate that 15 car didn't make it to the end. But hey, Seeger's still in second. He's only 6.8 seconds back. Not too bad.
Emily in the chat saying, looked like Aaron was trying to pull a Ross Chastain. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get away with a Hail Melon at this joint. Not even close. Jacob Renneker in the number 97, up 4 places from where he started. Cousin Cody, another one of our Georgia pilots, Ryan, he's up 10 places from where he started. What a run for him so far.
Yeah, great run for Cody. I mean, he's a very good race car driver. When he first joined ARCS, he was winning a lot, and now he's kind of realizing that ARCS has got a little competition. It's not as easy to win a race in ARCS anymore. So, but good to see him out here having a great run. Top 5 run. So hopefully he can bring it home and get that number 21 car a top 5.
Shout out Cousin Cody. We do love Cousin Cody. Chuck Sweeting right behind him. 9 at the line for 6th place in points. I don't know if we're ever going to see him this low in the order again, Ryan. Bren Roberts comes into round number 3, leading the points. Our defending champion comes into this race 6th in points, 9 markers behind Bren Roberts. Bren finds himself in the 4th position. So we genuinely, I think we're going to see Jacob Bradley in the top 3. We may even see him in the lead before this one's over.
Yeah, 100%. And how about Tom Sears and myself, 2nd and 3rd in points? Tom Sears not here tonight. Yeah, and me up here in the booth, 3rd in points. What was I thinking, Rick? I mean, man, if I could just finish on the lead lap, I would have finished 7th or 8th. So, maybe I made the wrong choice. But hey, I'm on baby duty watch tonight, so couldn't race, and I was like, well, I can still broadcast and watch the little baby over here. So that's what we're doing. So hey, it's okay. I can at least say I won a race in TNT this year, and I was 3rd in points after 2 races.
Not only were you 3rd in points, but you went into last week's race with the lead, and you ended up doing so well the first 2 weeks that you come away 3rd in points. This just might be a good time to hang it up and just say, you know what? I'm going to end on a high here.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, that Daytona race, I had my little baby girl Harper was in here with me, and that was the first time she was able to kind of hang out with me when I was racing, and we got the win, and she was beside me the whole time. So I was like, man, maybe she's good luck. Let me try it one more time. And then Rockingham didn't go so well, so we were like, let's hang it up. Let's get back up here in the booth with you and have some fun calling these races.
She's still a good luck charm. Absolutely a good luck charm. 5 laps to go for Mr. Jacob Bradley. He's got a ridiculous lead over Matt Seeger. This guy's on another planet, but we already knew that. He's the defending champion for a reason, and so far, the challenge has been coming from Matt Seeger, from Ethan Winters. Bren Roberts coming into this race with the points lead. It's still not over. There's 2 seconds between Bren Roberts and Ethan Winters. Looking at the difference over the last 5 laps, Bren is not making up any time on Ethan, but we love racing and anything is possible. 4 to go next time by. And before I forget, we do need to mention the good folks over at Drip Diecast and Collectibles. We cannot do this without them, and we cannot do this without our fans. So shout out to the folks at Drip Diecast. They've been with us since race number 1, and for 10 seasons strong, now coming into this 11th season of competition. They've been with us. They are your number 1 online store for NASCAR memorabilia, period. If you need a diecast, if you need some sort of NASCAR memorabilia in your life, for you, for someone you love, for someone you don't love, it doesn't matter. Check them out on eBay. Drip Diecast and Collectibles. They are your number 1 store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia. Drip Diecast and Collectibles, your number 1 store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia. We'll put the link in the Twitch chat here. ebay.com/str/drip diecasts. Drip Diecast and Collectibles, your number 1 online store for NASCAR memorabilia. Check them out. White flag next time by, Ryan. Jacob Bradley, 9 seconds ahead of the competition, and it doesn't look like anybody's going to slow him down. And for the most part, Ryan, after that pit stop, everybody spread out, gave each other space. It was really difficult to get a pass.
Yeah, when you get these long runs, I mean, everybody just gets spread out, and now we're coming basically. Now we have the white flag, and I don't think he's going to get it to 15 seconds, but it's pretty close.
He might even get it to double digits. He comes into this race 6th in the points, looking to defend that Thursday Night Thunder Championship, and what better way to do it than with a win at the Lady in Black. 2-time winner in a row, Jacob Bradley gets the Darlington W. Matt Seeger, 9.5 seconds back. He's going to come home with the silver medal slot, and Ethan Winters will come home in 3rd, to the surprise of, well, absolutely nobody, Ryan. Let's be honest. Champions do what champions do. Jacob Bradley has that win again.
Yeah, great race from Jacob Bradley. Kind of, like we said, we kind of expected it, but, just a great race and a great finish. Would have loved to see if Aaron Edwards, maybe, I know he was losing a lot of time, but did he have anything there at the end if he didn't have that damage? And then what would have happened if Noah Belleville didn't have that different strategy? We'll never know.
JB's going to burn the house down. We're going to get a word from Matt Seeger, Ethan Winters. Don't go anywhere, fans. We'll watch a little bit of a smoke show, and we'll be back with our podium interviews. Don't go anywhere. On the podium with our top three, starting with our bronze medalist tonight, one Ethan Winters. Ethan, great night for you. Third place in the number 10 machine. I know it's an obvious question week in and week out, but, just coming into this race, really just trying to get some solid footing for the season. But what more was left to take on the champ, Jacob Bradley? Ethan, you got me?
You got me?
Hey, now we go. There we go. Ethan Winters. There we go. Welcome back, bud. All right. Great race tonight. What more did you need to get just to second place? Because Seeger was on another level.
I think I had some good long run speed. It just came down to I haven't qualified well the past 2 weeks. I've qualified 20th last week and 9th this week. If I want to, be up in the mix at the end, I think I have the speed. I just got to get the track position. So if I can take care of that, hopefully everything else takes care of itself.
Bristol next week. We changed the fuel up just a bit. We ran 100% fuel this week. Now we haven't decided what we'll do next week as well, but definitely tried just to mix it up just a bit here. How'd you feel about the 100% fuel load this week? What difference did it make?
I love it. I'm a big proponent for long runs. That's where I make almost all my time. So the more we can fit in the tank, the longer we can go, and the more I can, show how well I can preserve a set of tires. So I'm all for it. I think especially in caution-free racing, it adds a level of how much can you take care of your stuff. So I love it. We didn't see any fuel saving, which is also a big bonus. So I'm all for it.
Congratulations on that third place finish. We'll see you in a week at Bristol. Ryan, you've got our silver medalist, Matt Seeger.
Absolutely. Matthew Seeger, you come home in second. Man, what could you have done differently? Or did you were just giving it everything you had? I mean, I know Jacob's fast, but you had a lot of speed in that 16 car tonight. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, I thought the Unified Potential Delta Sim Sport Chevy was really fast. I was really pleased with the pace that we brought to Darlington. I kind of struggled in long run trim most of the week, but I was actually impressed with the pace that we had come race night. So I'm happy about that. Happy with the run. The 50 is beatable. You just have to execute. You have to put together a full race, and all facets, on and off pit road, and just no mistakes overall. So I think going for Bristol next week, that's going to be the priority. Is you just have to run a perfect race, no mistakes on and off pit road, and then you just got to get after it. You can't tear your tires up with these long of runs, which I'm a huge proponent of. I love that. I think it definitely adds a nice layer of strategy to the racing.
Absolutely, and Bristol's going to be a lot of fun, with 20 plus cars out there racing. What do you feel like your chances are next week at Bristol? You think you can get that W?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Obviously, you don't want to I feel like in any racing, you don't want to call your number too early. It's racing. It's any given Sunday. Anybody can win, right? So yeah, we'll just have to, like I said, just have to execute, put together a full race on and off pit road. I feel like we did that here tonight, and yeah, I'm just super proud of the effort out of the Unified Potential Chevy.
Absolutely. Well, great job and great finish coming home P2, and we will see you next week at Bristol. And Rick, I think you have our race winner.
Jacob Bradley, watching the early laps of this race, you've already pulled out to quite an early lead, and then by the time the white flag flew, there was just nobody that was going to keep up with you. 2 wins in 3 races unofficially. You are tied with Matt Seeger for second in points, 1 digit behind Brent Roberts. You go for 3 wins in a row next week at Bristol.
Yeah, I feel really confident going to Bristol. Bristol's one of my favorite tracks, but tonight was really special to get the win. This morning my aunt passed away, so I really wanted to put together a perfect race for that, and I didn't put together a perfect race. I didn't qualify on the pole, and I didn't lead every lap, I guess. There were some different strategies, but when you finally hop in the sim rig, just kind of drone everything out, everything kind of falls into place, and you can kind of drive.
Fantastic run. Drivers trying to learn a lot from you as well, but we'll see you in a week's time. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Ryan, another TNT race is in the books, and there's our race winner just motionless on the front straight there. So that does it. A great run at Darlington for a lot of drivers. This is a really difficult car, and drivers are having a hard time putting it all together. But they're doing a brilliant job just keeping this thing in one piece. It's all you can ask of them. And now next week, Ryan, we're going to go to a tighter and what some people might feel is a tougher track, man. We're hitting up Bristol Motor Speedway.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great race. I mean, Bristol's an awesome track. I love Bristol. I mean, you can, especially with iRacing, you can kind of run the bottom and the top. So they did a great job with that. We were kind of joking before you came back, before we did interviews, that Jacob Bradley's sponsor was the Jacob Bradley Racing School. I asked him how much does it cost and when can I sign up, because I am all in. I need to get better, so sign up. Everybody sign up to the Jacob Bradley Racing School. But yeah, no, just great race overall. I mean, the fact that we had 22 cars out here at Darlington and did not have a caution from start to finish is absolutely amazing. I mean, that's baffling. You can't even, I mean, a lot of people just can't even fathom that the fact that all these drivers did that tonight. So shout out to all the drivers. Shout out to you, Rick. It was a blast being up in the booth, and we'll come back and do it again next week at Bristol.
We'll come back and we'll do it again next week at Bristol, right here, Rick James TV on Twitch and YouTube, 8:40 p.m. next Thursday night. We cannot do this without you, so thank you so much for tuning in. And again, thanks to the folks over at Drip Diecast and Collectibles. We're only getting started. 3 down and 11 to go in our 14 race season. The 11th campaign rolls on. Until that next race next week, everybody please stay safe, take care of each other. We'll see you all around